everybody. So I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about chickens. Obviously, we post a lot about chickens because it is one of the animals that we do have here on the homestead, and it is what at this current time is producing food for our family in the form of eggs. We don't have meat chickens yet. I think it's something that we might want to tackle in the spring. We might not. It depends. We have the turkeys, which we're not going to slaughter ourselves. But anyway, let's go back to chickens. All right, so it's that time of year. Have you noticed? You go to the coop, you get your eggs out. Not as many as there was before, right? That's because the days are getting shorter and it's getting colder out. So they're not going to lay as much. You can add a light to the coop, not just like a regular light bulb. It has to be one that mimics the sun, so that way they think the days are longer and they'll continue to lay. I don't do that for a couple of reasons. One, most light bulbs let off some type of heat, regardless if it's whether a heat lamp or not. It still lets off some. If you lose electricity and your chickens aren't acclimated to the weather, they're gonna die. So I don't heat my coop. And we'll do another vlog on how we take care of the chickens in the winter. Probably next month or so. It's not quite cold enough for us to start getting them ready for winter. So they're stopping to lay because they're slowing down their laying because of the amount of sunlight. The other thing is, if it's cold out and they're laying eggs, they're using energy that they could use to keep themselves warm. So if you think about it, it is the body's way of saying, we're not going to use extra energy right now. We are going to keep that energy store for ourselves to keep us warm in the middle of the winter. And I think it's a good mechanism that they have. However that chemistry in their body works with the daylight, it's awesome. The other thing is they're laying eggs to have babies. They're not laying eggs for us to eat eggs. They're laying eggs to have chicks. So if they're having chicks and it's freezing out, that is so much more work for that mom to keep those eggs warm in order to hatch them, and also the chicks warm until they feather out. It's not a good use of their energy stores. That mom is not going to do good, and the chicks are going to die, or the mom, because she's using her energy, and when they sit on eggs, they get up once in a while to eat. They're not eating all day long like the other hens are. So you have to be mindful of that when you decide on whether or not you want a light bulb in that coop in order to get eggs all winter. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. Some people have absolutely no problem. And if there's plenty of food and your coop is very well insulated and you know your chickens, you have chickens that are cold hardy, by all means. I'm not an expert on this. I'm just telling you why nature does it the way nature does it. That's all. So what are you going to do now that you don't have eggs? And personally for me, I use all our eggs in the winter. I do a ton of baking in the winter, and I go through a ton of eggs. Over the summer, I have dozens of eggs sitting in my fridge all the time. Give them away. We make pickled eggs. We, make egg salad sandwiches and whatnot, but there's only so many eggs you can have. We have breakfast for dinner once a week, and we definitely do a full breakfast on Saturday and Sunday. So we get kind of egged out. But in the winter, when I need all those extra eggs for baking and they're not producing that many, they still give me a couple of eggs, but not, the dozen a day, the 8 to a dozen a day I'm used to getting. I'm going to show you a little trick, a little hack on how to have eggs for baking. I have not tried it in non-baking things. I don't think I'd make scrambled eggs this way, but this will definitely work for baking. Okay, so very simple. I just cracked the eggs right into an ice cube dish that I had washed. Now I'm going to set them into the freezer. And once they're frozen, I'll show you. We're going to pop them out and we're going to put them in a freezer bag. And we're freezing them individually like this because unless you know how many eggs your recipe is going to need, it's kind of difficult to just throw them all in one bag because you're not going to be able to separate them. But because these are going to be individually frozen, it'll be easier to take out 2 or 3 eggs at a time. Okay, so I popped them out, put them in a Ziploc baggie. I'm leaving these to defrost to kind of give you an idea of what they look like after you defrost them. Because obviously you're going to defrost them before you do your baking. Alright guys, so this is pretty much defrosted. So you can see that the yolks kind of stayed together. I think one of them broke when I was putting it in the ice tray, but looks like normal eggs. So see how easy that is? Now you're going to have eggs for all your winter baking. Very little hassle. So I froze that, and I will probably freeze at least another like 2 or 3 dozen to get through kind of that winter baking. So I hope everyone has a great day, a blessed day actually, and don't forget to give us a thumbs up and subscribe. Thanks everybody.